Hey guys, it's Bree, and today I'm going to do a spoiler-free review for you of The Lost Queen, which I'm not entirely sure how to say the author's name. Signe Pike? Let's look that up. Okay, so we're going to do a quick spoiler review of The Lost Queen by Signe Pike. I'm figuring it out. But this is a historical fiction with touches of fantasy, and it's basically described as Outlander meets Camelot. I love King Arthur tales, of course. They're pretty classic fantasy. I liked Outlander, both the TV show and the first book. I haven't read the second book yet. Bit long, but interesting. Lots of romance. This is about Langareth, who is the twin of the man that inspires the tale of Merlin. So we're following her. She is a queen later in life. We start when they're children and progress to adulthood when he becomes Merlin. Like, it's basically how did these people become who they are. She's kind of known as the forgotten queen in history, hence the Lost Queen. And we have elements of historical fiction and fantasy, like I said, but this is definitely leaning more towards historical. There's some fantasy magic elements, but they're not particularly strong. A lot more to do with like fate and destiny, concepts like that. Not so much dragons and monsters, and you don't really see much of him being a wizard. He's a secondary character. This is definitely mostly about the sister. I read this with my boyfriend for our book club. I gave it 3 stars. He gave it 4. I'm a little bit more of a tougher person when it comes to reviewing things. But he picked this one. I really liked the first part of the book and parts throughout, but I felt like overall it was just really long-winded. There's a lot of scenes that could have been cut out. Langareth is kind of whiny at times. She doesn't progress in a way that you continue to care for her. The romance that she's involved in is oddly presented, and it's not an overly memorable book, but that is largely because I didn't like it as very much. It's good if you like slow burns. If you like a book that goes into every detail and explores everything and you can just kind of marinate in that story, this is one for you. If you like a lot of action, you want things to progress and everything has a purpose and it's there, you'd probably skip this one. It's pretty long. This one has a reader's guide in the back, I believe. But it is 515 pages, felt a lot longer than that. It's not as exciting as Outlander, basically. Slow, interesting if you're into English history, British history, and you want to find out more about a queen, and you like the aspect of Camelot tales where you're looking at the introduction of Christianity and how that clashed with paganism and similar beliefs, then that part's interesting. I will give it that. There's a little bit of looking at the role of women in historical context, which is also interesting. The twin bond is there. But once again, it was just too drawn out for me. It didn't feel like I was getting to a point. I didn't feel like I was progressing. And we skipped throughout her life, and then right as it gets interesting, and I'm like, okay, I can read this. This is where I wanted to be the whole time. The book ends. So it's a little bit frustrating when slow. Not my cup of tea, but if you like slower burn historical fictions with a teeny tiny bit of romance, then you might like this one. But yeah, 3 stars overall for me. Check it out if you want. Link down below will be my little bit more cohesive written review. So have a good one. Happy reading. Let me know what you think.